all for this session. One sorting technique already we learned, that is bubble sort. This is another sorting technique. It insertion sort divides the given list or array into two parts, sorted list and unsorted list. We select the first element from the unsorted list and insert it into the sorted list at the correct position. Okay, so in the given array or list or whatever data structure you are using, we will make inside that we will make two partitions. One we will call as sorted and the other we will call as unsorted. Okay, and our aim is to pick up every time one element from the unsorted list and add it at the appropriate position, correct position into the sorted list. This process is continued till all the elements from the unsorted list are inserted into the sorted list and unsorted list becomes empty. So this is happening inside the array, suppose. Then initially all the elements are not sorted. Unsorted array, the whole array you can treat as unsorted, or just the very first element you can treat as sorted, because when there is only one element it is always sorted. So all the remaining elements, that is second position onwards up to the last position, what we do is we go on picking up one element and add it into the sorted part at the appropriate position till all the elements from the unsorted list are not added into the sorted list. We will not be ending our program. Okay, so this kind of loop will continue. We will see with some example. Consider an array with 6 elements: 35, 17, 42, 13, and 26, and 2. Okay, so those are the 6 elements. We want to apply insertion sort to those 6 elements. As I mentioned, if you just consider a single element, it is always sorted. So the very first element is always sorted. We have made two partitions, one as sorted and the other as unsorted. And the very first element of the array is sorted. If there is only one element, always will be sorted. Remaining elements are unsorted: 17, 42, 13, 26, and 2. So what we do, we just copy this 17. We pick up the very first element from the unsorted list, that is 17. The very first element is 17. So we have copied it at some temporary position. And then we try to insert it into the sorted list, sorted array. Okay. Insert the first element of unsorted list or unsorted array, say 17, into the sorted part. So we have copied it to a temporary location, and then this is the temporary location as I mentioned. Now what we will be doing is we want to add it to this side. Okay, pick up from here and add it to this side. This is one imaginary line in between. Okay, and what we will be doing is picking up the very first element and adding it to the sorted list at the appropriate position. Now, as you can see, the appropriate position always will be before 35. But how do you recognize which is the position? So for that, what we do is we go on comparing from the last position of the sorted array. So the last position of the sorted is 35. So we compare 17 and 35, and what we found is 17 is smaller than 35. So we have pasted it at this position. As you can see, insert this 17 at the appropriate position has been done. So 17 is coming as the first element and 35 is coming after that. Now we continue the same process. 42 is the very first element from the unsorted list. So what we do, we pick up that element, we try to add it into the sorted list. We pick up from the unsorted, we try to add into the unsorted. Again, this has been copied at a temporary location. Why to copy it at the temporary location? I'll tell you. It is because, as I mentioned, this is an imaginary line. Okay, actually nothing we have done inside the array, but we are making two parts, and one part we are calling sorted, other part we are calling unsorted. So this is the imaginary line in between the sorted and the unsorted array. Now if you want to add this 42 into the sorted side, what you need to do, go on comparing. See, go on comparing this value with the last element. If it is bigger, you will be adding after it. So you will be writing over here. Okay. If it would have been smaller, like in case of 17, so what you need to do, you have to, like over here, suppose this, the very first element when we added, it was 17. So you will be comparing with 35, and then you realize that it is smaller than 35. So what you need to do, you will be, see here, you will be shifting it. You need to shift this value 35 to this position. You need to shift this 35 to this position, and then 17 will come to this position. So it means that the position of 17 will be overwritten, maybe by the same element or maybe by some other element. Like in this case, it is overwritten by 35. You need to compare 17. So we don't compare this 17, we compare this 17. Why? Because if at all we are overwriting, this element should not be destroyed. So we copy it to a temporary location, and then we compare this with this, and we realize that 17 is smaller. So what we do, we copy 35 to the next position. And what is the next position? It is nothing but 17th position, the position of 17. So this will be written, 35 will be written at this position, and then 17 will be copied to this position. So I'm telling you actually the logic for the program, and that's what has happened for the first element, and then we get 17 and 35. Now see the third element, 42. If you want to add, now obviously we copied it to temp, a temporary location, and then you realize that 35, okay, you compare, go on comparing from the last position of the sorted list. So the last position is 35. So we compare 35 and 42. We find that 42 is bigger. So that should be added after 35. So it should be added at the same position. So no harm, no shifting is required in this situation, because this happens to be the largest element, okay, from the given sorted list. So it will be written at the same position, and then we move this imaginary line to this. Okay, so now our sorted array has become 17, 35 and 42. Now we want to pick up the very first element of the unsorted array, that is 13. Okay, and we want to add it to the appropriate position. Now go on comparing from the last position. So last position is 42, and you find that 13 is much smaller than 42. So what you need to do, you need to shift 42 at this position. And so what we did, we copied 13 to a temporary location, so that this 13 should not get destroyed. Another copy is retained, and we are actually using that temporary location only for comparison. So we shift 42 here. Then we compare. It means that now 42 is here as well as here. Are you getting the thing? 42 is at two positions. Now we compare 13 with 35. Now what you find? 35 is bigger than 13. So again 35 should be shifted from this to this. Okay, because we want to create one empty element slot at the position whichever is the correct position. So how you create that slot? For that thing we are shifting one element ahead, and so what we are doing, this 35 will be shifted to this position. Now 42 is here and 35 is here. Okay, at two locations 35 will be there, 35 here as well as here. Again you compare 13 with 17. Okay, now what you find, again 17 is bigger than 13, so 17 also will be shifted from this position to this position. Now you will observe 17 is there at this position as well as this position. So 17, 17, 35 and 42 will be the array. And now it is safe to write 13 at the beginning position, that is at the position of 17. So that is what will be the logic we will be applying. Now you get something like that. Okay, so that is how we are getting the array 13, 17, 35, 42 as sorted. And now we again pick up the unsorted list, unsorted array, very first element, that is 26. Go on comparing from the last position. So 42 will be shifted to this position, then 35 also will be shifted to this position, and now 35 is at this position as well as this position. Okay, remember, and 42 is here. Okay, now you compare with 17 and what you find, 17 is smaller than 26, so you don't move 17 ahead, and you find that the right position to move 26 is this. So you are moving in between 17 and 35, and so 42 is here, 35 is here, shifting one position ahead, and then 26 will be moved to this position, but not this 26, but the 26 which is stored at temporary location will be moved in between those two positions. So what you get is this. I hope this is you have understood up to this particular thing. So now our sorted array is 13, 17, 26, 35, 42. Now again you pick up, now only one element remaining in the unsorted array, that is 2. So you need to insert 2 at the appropriate position. So again go on comparing from the last position of the sorted list. Firstly copy, 2 is copied at the temporary location, and then perform the comparisons. So 42 and 2 are compared, 2 is much smaller, so 42 is copied to this position. Remember, this is imaginary line and we are copying this to this position. Then 35, compare with 35, 2 is compared with 35, and what you find, much smaller, 2 is much smaller. So again copy 35 at the next position, that is this position. So 42 is here, 35 is here. In the same manner 26 will come here, 17 will come here, 13 will come here, and then 13 will be there at two positions, here as well as here. So it is safe to overwrite onto 13. So 2 will be written onto the position of 13. Okay, so we will see that. And now you will observe the unsorted list is empty, and then you stop. This I have considered a simple small example just of 6 elements for inserting it from the unsorted array into the sorted array. So go on picking the very first element of the unsorted array, go and compare with the last element of the sorted array. Okay, and if required, shift, and then what you notice is find out the appropriate position from the array to insert the required element and add that element at the required position. Okay, so that is what is the logic for insertion sort. Actually, if they ask you to solve the problem. It is very simple. In a very simple manner, you can solve that problem like this. What you need to do, you are required, give the step number, sorted array, unsorted array. So make 3 columns, those 2 columns bigger, sorted array and unsorted array. Initially sorted array is empty and step is 0. Okay, so and in the unsorted array all the elements exist. Then what we do, we take the very first element in the sorted list. Okay, and one element is always sorted, so the remaining elements are there in the unsorted array: 17, 42, 13, 26 and 2. Okay, then add the second element, 17. So 17 and 35, it is inserted at the appropriate position, shifting 35 one position ahead, and the remaining array will be 42, 13, 26, 2. Okay, then add this 42 into the sorted thing, so it will be added at this position. Those locations remain as they are, and this is 13, 26, 2. Okay, unsorted array. Then we need to add this 13. 13 will be added at this position, and you are writing the sorted array like this. Okay, and unsorted array will be 26 and 2. Now you need to add 26. So 26 will be added in between 17 and 35, and the unsorted array remains as 2. Then you add 2 into the sorted side, and what you get is this. Now you will observe, using insertion sort, we have completely sorted the given array, and the unsorted array is empty. Remember, we are using only one array. We don't have to make use of any other array. Okay, so inside the same array, we are making 2 partitions. One part we are treating as sorted, and the other part we are treating as unsorted. Okay, so if they give you any example to solve using insertion sort, it is to be done like this. It is very simple mechanism. You should make this way. Okay, sorted and unsorted, make 3 columns and give the step numbers. Okay, and then go on adding one element from unsorted into the sorted. I think that is clear. Now we will see the insertion sort program. So as I mentioned, what we will be doing is we will be writing one main program and different functions for different sorting techniques. So for insertion sort, one function we will be writing, and what we are going to pass to insertion sort, it is nothing but the array X, whichever array you want to sort. So you will be passing that array to the insertion sort function. Remember, this is a function which will be invoked from the main function. Okay, and this is what the total number of elements inside the array. So suppose it is n. Now what we are doing, we are using 3 variables, I, k and y. Okay, I, k and y. What for those are used? K is used as a loop variable. Okay, if you feel comfortable with I, j, k, you can use I, j, k. If you feel comfortable with A, B, C, you can use A, B, C, whatever. So the important thing is k is used as the array index. Okay, k is used as the array for loop variable. So what we will be doing, we will be starting k with 1. Why with 1? Because 0th element in C, we will be writing C programs, and in C, arrays start with 0. Array index start with 0, and very first element is always sorted. So the 0th position is always sorted. That is what is our logic. Another thing is, you will observe there is one more loop inside, and what we will be doing is I equal to k minus 1. So we will be shifting. While shifting, this is first location. When we initialize to 1, we will be able to use I equals to 0 here in the second loop. Okay. So now insert xk. Xk means the kth position, that is the first position. 0 is already sorted position. 0th position being only one element in the sorted list. Sorted, always sorted. One element is always sorted. So that is nothing but the 0th location of the array. Now what we will do, xk is 1 at the beginning. So we will go on inserting from the first position into the sorted array. Y equals to xk. If you don't want to make use of y, you can make use of temp. If you find you are comfortable with a temporary variable saying temp, you can use temp. Okay, so y is nothing but that temporary location which I showed you, where we will be storing the unsorted list very first element. So the very first element we are storing into y, that is nothing but the temporary location. Now move down one position all elements greater than y. What is moving down? We are shifting. We are shifting ahead one location, whichever elements you need to move. So whichever are the bigger elements, you are shifting ahead. Okay, whichever are the bigger elements, bigger than y, you are shifting all those elements ahead. And for that reason, we are writing this loop. Okay, I equal to k minus 1, I greater than or equals to 0, and y less than xi. As long as you are not getting an element smaller than xi, there are two conditions we are using, I greater than or equals to 0. As long as you are in the same array, not reaching up to the 0th position, and as long as you are not getting any element smaller than the current temporary position element. So as long as that is the thing, as long as your y less than xi indicates as long as temporary is smaller than the thing, means if you find bigger elements, you move all those elements one position ahead. So that is what we are doing. Xi plus 1 equals to xi. You are started moving from the last position of the sorted and going up to the very first position of the sorted. So what we are doing, I minus minus, initialize I to 0. Okay, so I minus minus becomes minus 1, and because this condition fails, it will be halted. Okay, so it comes out of this loop. Then xi plus 1 equals to y. It is telling us the position after shifting this. Okay, this is the loop. This loop is having only one step. Inside the for loop, there is only one step. As long as you are not finding smaller than temporary position, go on moving, go on shifting those elements one position ahead, and then xi plus 1 will be the right position to move temporary element into the array. Okay, so at xi plus 1 you will be moving that particular thing, and then you are actually this particular loop, for loop, ends at this position, whereas the second for loop is having only one statement inside it. I'll show you the same program without the comments. So many comments I had written over here just to understand, just to make you understand what is actually logic. So you will observe that now without the comments. See this program, the same program I am writing without comments. So start from the very first position. 0th location is sorted location. Copy that element, first position element, into temp. Temp is nothing but y over here. Then as long as you are getting the elements from the sorted list bigger than y, go on shifting one position ahead those elements. So this loop is used for shifting. Okay, and then at the right position you should put this temporary element. okay, and end. So you'll observe only 4 statements inside this for loop, okay. Or actually the program is so small, 5 or 6 lines program, but there is some speciality of this program as compared to, I think this logic is clear. You can try it at home, and then if you find any queries, any difficulties, you can post me. So there are different cases of insertion sort. Worst case. What is worst case? I think we discussed earlier best case, worst case, and average case. So worst case actually means that reverse sorted file. Reverse sorted file means what? Suppose our intention is to sort using insertion sort in the ascending manner. So we want to sort the given array in the ascending order, but the given array is in the descending order. Okay, so what we want to achieve is ascending order, and what you find the given array is reverse sorted means descending order. Or the next case, or the reverse case, is if you want to sort in the descending order and the given file is in the ascending order. So in both the cases, what you find, this is worst case. Whatever you want to achieve, exactly the reverse has been given to you as input. So this is reverse sorted file. So this is treated as worst case because every element is to be shifted and every element is to be compared. Okay, so there are 2 loops, like you can see here. There are 2 loops. This is first for loop, this is second for loop. I think I had already told you that whenever there are 2 for loops, okay, as a thumb rule, you assume that its time complexity becomes big O of n square, where n is the number of elements, big O of n square, if there are 2 loops. You remember, do you remember we had 2 for loops in bubble sort, and so obviously its time complexity, best, average, all those cases were coming out to be big O of n square. So that is the thumb rule. Now see here, what is the case? So for worst case, both the for loops will be executed, and so the time complexity comes out to be big O of n square. Okay, I hope this is clear. Then the best case behavior. Best case is you want to sort it into ascending order, and your data is already in the ascending order. So you don't have to actually shift any element, or means one of the for loop can, we need to check if one of the for loop can be skipped. Okay, or this means that is our program able to recognize that you, whatever you want to achieve already has been given to you. So yes, if you want to sort into the ascending order and already the program, the data is in the ascending order, insertion sort program can recognize that and it will skip one loop. So this loop, there are 2 for loops. This is the first loop where you are performing the comparison, uh, picking up the first element from the unsorted list and storing it into the temporary location. And this is the second for loop. Actually this is used for shifting. So whenever the given data is in the ascending order, and if you want to sort it into the ascending order, or if the given data is in the descending order and you want to sort it to the descending order only, so exactly the same thing is there existing into the data. So our program will be able to recognize that the given data is in the required sorted manner. It will skip this loop. The second loop will be skipped. This loop will be skipped. Okay, this will not be executed. Because why you think it will not be executed? Because we have put 2 conditions, and which condition will fail? I greater than or equal to 0. That is okay. This is true. So this will not fail, but which one will fail? This condition will fail. Y less than xi, temporary position, whatever you have stored, it is smaller than xi. So no, it is already bigger, and so this, it won't enter inside this loop. So one complete for loop will be escaped, and you will be executing only this for loop. So if there is only one for, remember this statement is outside this for loop. This, there is only one statement in this second for loop. This is outside this for loop, but inside this for loop. Okay. So you will observe, in case of best case, so given data is in the ascending manner and we want to sort it to ascending. So in that case, it will be recognizing it is like that and will not be executing this loop. So only one loop will be executed, that is this for k will be executed. Okay. And so because of that, the time complexity comes out to be big O of n. Only one for loop will be executed, and so the time complexity comes out to be big O of n. And the average, all other cases are average case behavior. In all other cases, both the for loops will be executed, giving rise to the time complexity as big O of n square. Okay, this is worst case, big O of n square, best case, big O of n, and average case, big O of n square. So the important fact with insertion sort is that it is able to recognize the best case. The program is able to recognize the best case. So we'll see the advantages and disadvantages. Best case time complexity is big O of n. Advantages. It is a simple sorting technique. No additional data structure is required. You have observed that only inside one array we were making two parts, one as sorted and the other as unsorted. So no additional data structure we are using. It is in place sorting method. It is stable sorting method. I had given you the definitions of in place sorting and stable sorting. So just check with that. Most suitable if elements are almost sorted. Okay. This is the sort which is most suitable if the elements are almost sorted. And the disadvantage is worst case time complexity is big O of n square. Okay, so that is about the insertion sort. I think